Without further ado, it is my delight to introduce Tyler Shannon, our first presenter.
Hello, everybody. Thank you all for coming. Again, my name is Tyler Shannon. The man I'm going to be talking about today holds a big place in my heart. He's helped guide me throughout all 4 years of my high school career, and has been very selfless throughout that time, putting me before himself in many situations. This man is my coach, he's my teacher, and he will be a lifelong friend of mine. The man I'm speaking about is Mr. Joe Sakala. I first met Mr. Sakala summer going into my freshman year. This was at summer hockey workouts. Looking around, seeing how all the older players respected him, it didn't take long for me to understand that this was someone that I wanted to play for and be around for a long time. Right off the bat, I also knew I could trust him. For a little bit of background, I played high school hockey for Mr. Sakala for all 4 years. And in a high school hockey season, you spend a lot of time with your coaches and with your teammates. So this gave me a really good opportunity to become close and build a connection with Mr. Sakala. And for that, I'm very grateful. Mr. Sakala wasn't just a coach of mine, he was also a teacher for me in my junior year in a history class. I don't love history, so having Mr. Sakala in class made it much more enjoyable, just having him as a teacher and having his presence there. He helped me appreciate our world's history more than I ever did. And he did a really good job of relating the things that we were learning about to my interests. Although Mr. Sakala was a great coach and he was a great teacher, the thing I would cherish most is the friendship I had with him. If I ever needed something to talk about throughout my 4 years of high school, Mr. Sakala would be the first person I went to. And the reason why it was so great to go to Mr. Sakala is because he wouldn't talk to me as a student or one of his players. He would talk to me as a friend and understand me on an individual level. Another great quality that I admire about Mr. Sakala is his loyalty. Mr. Sakala grew up in Madison and has lived here his entire life, where he went through the Madison School District and graduated here at MHS. He then attended FTU in Madison. And the community was such a big aspect in Mr. Sakala's life that he found his way back to Madison High School, where he is now a teacher, a coach, and is very active in school activities such as student council. When I grow up, whether my community is my town, my family, my job, my sport, I aspire to have the same amount of loyalty that Mr. Sakala portrays. Mr. Sakala was very loyal to the Madison High School hockey program through adversity in order to make sure that players were supported. Before being named head coach, Mr. Sakala was assistant to a coach that we all felt mistreated him and to also the players. I'm sure Mr. Sakala went home many nights and debated if he should step away from the game and step away from coaching, but he didn't do that because he loved us so much. And for that, I'm very, very grateful. Just 1 year later, Mr. Sakala was named the head coach of the high school hockey team. And just 2 months after that, he was holding a Halverson Cup as a Halverson Cup champion in 2021, which I think perfectly demonstrates the motivation and the love of the community that Mr. Sakala has for Madison. So to Mr. Sakala, I want to say thank you for being such a great coach, teacher, friend, and an even better mentor. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate it. My name is Allison. I'm a senior here at MHS, which means I'll be graduating in about 6 days. I'm very excited, and for the past week, I can't stop thinking about what I'm going to be doing after I graduate. My plans after I graduate have changed a lot this year since I've been thinking about it more and more. At the beginning of the year, I kept thinking about, during college, I was interested in doing ROTC or going to a military academy. The idea of the military really interested me, specifically the Air Force, and I showed a lot of interest in it. And so over the summer of my junior year, I visited a lot of military academies and ROTC programs, and they told me a lot about what it entails. And I saw some really interesting things. I saw amazing aircraft, amazing facilities, strong leadership, but at the same time, I was warned by a lot of people in the service and my fellow peers. What they did, they told me that, yes, it's great, yes, it's a great thing to get yourself involved in, but at the same time, it's dedication, it's a commitment, it's more than just a job, it's a lifestyle. And that made me think long term. I was thinking, if I joined the military, would I have time to settle and make a family for myself and have kids and dedicate time to those kids? And it made me think about my life, and it also made me think about my dad, because he was in the military for about 23 years in the US Coast Guard. And most people say, oh, a military parent usually doesn't have time for their kids. They're too busy training or deployed somewhere for a long period of time. But my dad was the exception. He dedicated a lot of time to me, and I'm extremely grateful. He's been seriously committed to me my entire life. Throughout many events in my childhood, he was there for school science fairs. He was there to help me study on tests. He was there for family trips, and I'm super grateful. I remember during elementary school when I had math homework, and my dad would sit down with me for hours on end. And now he jokes that I've passed his abilities in math, and he can no longer help me in calculus. And I just want to tell you, Dad, I wouldn't know this much calculus if it wasn't for you. You helped ensure that I had the resources to pursue my education, and I am grateful. So now that my dad is retired from the US Coast Guard, he's prioritized traveling with me around the world and around the country. So far, we've been to Puerto Rico, Florida, and even Japan, which I'll be showing on screen right now. This is my dad during the cherry blossom season in Japan, us in Osaka near Tokyo Tower as well. We had such a great time in March. And something my dad really prioritizes in our family vacation is spontaneity and curiosity. He does not like to have a scheduled family trip, doing something at 2 o'clock, and then at 3 o'clock we have this tour, and we're going here at 5 o'clock. And he's not like that at all. We'll just be roaming the streets, find something interesting, and he'll go, oh, let's look at that, and go down a cool alleyway like this. And where does it go? I don't know. Well, let's go down it and see. This way of exploring a new country was fascinating, and it made one of the best trips of my entire life. One of my favorite stories about me and my dad and his spontaneous ways was we found a strange restaurant in this alleyway here, and it was in the middle of Osaka. Not many people speak English, and we went into this restaurant, we got a table, and we sat down, and the waiter comes to us and starts speaking in Japanese, and we're like, oh no, what do we do? I don't know Japanese, I don't know how to do this. And so we're given this menu, and I'm like, wow, what's such great options? And my dad goes, oh, no worries, I got this. So the waiter comes around, and my dad just points to random ones. He goes, we'll have one of these, 2 of those, maybe this one on the back, that looks interesting, and the waiter goes away, and then I go, how'd you know what to order? Did you learn Japanese overnight? What happened? He said, oh, I have no idea what I just ordered. I pointed to random stuff on the menu. And I go, wow, that's really cool. I don't think most people would do that. I think most people would whip out their phone translators and go, oh God, I don't know what to do. But my dad enjoys curious, spontaneous activities. And, if those decisions don't end out well, it always makes a funny story to tell at a family gathering. My dad always tells me how He feels so lucky to hang out with me instead of working a job, and I really appreciate that. Dad, I really appreciate all the time you've dedicated to me, showing me the world, and I aspire to have your confidence, leadership, and optimism as I continue to college. Your presence in my life has encouraged my academic success and cultivated my desire to achieve great things. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Spencer Slate, and in today's speech I'm honoring my mom, Marie Slate. My mom loves to play golf, as you can see. She's had the great opportunity to play at Pine Valley, which if you don't know is a really unique opportunity because not many people get to play here. It's a very good, well-known course. She's also been lucky enough, some may call it luck, others skill, to get a hole-in-one with this ball right here. And that's actually the hole it was on. And so that's that. And then my mom has taught me how to play golf and encouraged me to play a school sport, which I chose tennis, which I played for 3 years. And my mom's always wanted the best for me, always wanted me to succeed. And when I think of a story of my mom and her fierceness, I think of a time where an out-of-country property was fraudulently stolen from us, and within a day she was present at the property with a lawyer on scene and all the paperwork necessary to prove that we own the property and that this other person did not actually own it. And within a month it was taken to court and the situation was resolved. And this was a true display of how she's able to multitask and be a successful businesswoman and a loving mother all at once in an extremely stressful situation. And I'd like to finish my speech by thanking my mom for being an awesome mom and being so loving and teaching me how to deal with stressful situations and remain calm. Thank you.
Hi everyone, thank you so much for coming. My name is Tracy and I'm doing my speech about my dad, so I hope you like it. The first thing he gave me was the color of his eyes, then his last name and my first, and whether it be giving to me or giving up for me, my dad has not stopped giving since. Ever since I was a little kid, my dad and I have understood each other on a level I have yet to find with anyone else. We laugh at things no one else finds funny, we see the world in a very similar way, and getting along comes naturally to us. Even to this day, some of my favorite memories are when I was younger and my dad would take me on a Friday or Saturday night to pick up my sister from her friend's house. We'd sit in the car for what felt like hours, either sitting in a driveway waiting for her to come out or driving around Harding trying to find the right address while he complained about the lack of streetlights. Our drives were sometimes spent listening to 80s country music or rock. Other times, my dad would tell me stories about his life while I sat starry-eyed and cross-legged in the passenger seat. This time together meant everything to me, and I'd get so excited to stay up late every weekend and hear all about what made my dad the incredible person he is. He gave me a best friend. Many of the people in this room are parents, so you understand how difficult it is to manage a family-supporting career with the needs and wants of your children. My dad has done an incredible job at both. He is both a full-time working parent and an incredibly involved father. Growing up, he was there wherever I needed him, coaching every softball team I was on, showing up to every dance recital with flowers, and sitting through every soccer game in the pouring rain when I'm sure he'd much rather have been at home. I often took this for granted because I didn't realize how rare it was to have that level of unwavering support. Every day, my dad wakes up in the dark to go to work, often returning well past dinner time, happy to drive my brother to sports, play a hand of cards, take my dogs for a walk, or drive to ShopRite to buy me a pint of blueberries. It's easy to get caught up in your career, especially when single-handedly financially supporting a family of 5, but my dad has always had time for me, even taking my siblings and I on exciting day trips on many weekends that he called Dadder Days. My dad is a girl dad to a T. He loves to sit at the kitchen counter and gossip like one of the girls, even if he can't remember the names of friends I've had since kindergarten. He also tells me the trashy reality shows I watch are ridiculous, but ends up watching them with me for hours and getting upset if I put them on without him. He's always there to listen if I need advice on a situation or just want to vent. Right or wrong, my dad has always been on my side. He gave me grace when I didn't deserve it, love when I didn't want to accept it, and he gave me one of the purest and most genuine friendships I've ever known. My dad gives me an example to follow. The way he carries himself and the way he treats other people with such warmth and gentleness inspires me every day. My family always jokes that my dad could take the garbage out and not come back for hours because he was chatting with all the neighbors, or every time we leave the house, he runs into someone he's apparently been friends with for years. But I think that really speaks to who he is as a person. He radiates such kindness and friendliness, and people are constantly attracted to his energy. One piece of advice that my dad has given me that stuck is that it's easy to be kind and happy when everything's going well for you, but it's the way you conduct yourself when things aren't going well that shows your character and the kind of person you are. My dad is always respectful, patient, kind, and caring, regardless of the day he's had, and it's rare that you catch him in a bad mood. This constant positive energy rubs off on everyone, and it makes me want to be better. Anyone who knows my dad personally knows he would give the shirt off of his back to a stranger who needs it. He gives without expecting anything in return and helps people who might never even know it was him. He is generous and selfless to a fault. One should consider himself incredibly lucky to have my dad as a friend. To know him is to love him. The way he treats my mother is the epitome of what a husband should be. They have been married for over 20 years, and he still loves her like nothing I've ever seen and proves it to her and to me every single day. Whether it be her nightly foot massage or a random flower arrangement delivered to the house, he takes every opportunity he can to show her how much she means to him. Not to mention, I haven't changed any of the pictures. I'm sorry. So this was my dad, and then this was him at all of the events I needed him to be at. That was what I was gonna play for saying he's a girl dad. He loves reality shows. That's him and my mom. And this is him when I said, he has, not to mention the countless home projects he's helped her with throughout the years. Additionally, my dad's work ethic is exemplary and one of the things I admire most about him. He didn't grow up with much, but he created an incredible life for himself with nothing but determination. While most young adults are out partying, relaxing, and enjoying their freedom, my dad was working tirelessly every day in construction to put himself through college at night. He worked from the ground up to get to where he is and has instilled in me the value of hard work. I don't usually get nervous to speak in front of people, but this speech is different because he is here watching me. I want so badly for him to be proud of the girl that I am and the woman I'm becoming. His approval means everything to me because there is no one I respect more. Things are changing. I'm moving away to college and I'm growing into who I'm meant to be. I know this is what he's always wanted for me, but I'm terrified to be without him. I'll miss his infectious laughter. I'll miss the way he listens. I'll miss his endless wisdom. I'll miss his hugs. I'm scared to disappoint him, but my greatest comfort is knowing that a little bit of him will always be in me. Many of the things I like most about myself are traits I admire in my father. As I wrap things up, I just wanted to tell him thank you. Thank you for being my hero, for forgiving me when I let you down and loving me when it was hard. Thank you for teaching me the importance of good friends and being one. Thank you for your patience with me. Thank you for putting me first. Thank you for showing me what unconditional love feels like. Thank you for allowing me to believe that in a world where I'm always being compared, who I am is enough. I can only dream to be to my future children half of what you are to me. One last thing my dad has always taught me is that a parent's goal is to raise a child who no longer needs them. And while I consider myself to be very independent, my dad is my rock, my mentor, my friend, and I'll always need him because his shoes are far too big to fill. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Erin Hill, and I'm an MHS senior. And I'd like to thank you all for coming today this afternoon. Now, to start my speech, I would like everyone to raise their hand if you have met someone or know someone that has a disability. Oh, almost everybody. That's awesome. I bring that up because I find it very interesting to see how one of these people live with this disability and the amazing things that they've done despite their disability. I bring this up today because my honoree is someone that does have a disability. Today, I would like to honor my brother, Brian Hill. So my brother is my younger twin for most students that don't know, and he's only younger by me than by 1 minute, which is essentially we're the same age, but it's okay. It's the one thing I brag about. He was also born with an acute breed of autism spectrum disorder. Now, for those that don't know, autism is a disease, it's a disorder that affects a person's behavioral and sensory issues. I honor him today because despite this disability, he has still done amazing things, overcome many challenges, and is still a very awesome brother. Now, the journey to get to where he is now is a long time. So, when we first moved here in first grade, we both went to Harding. However, they did not have the ability and aids that would help to cope with his disorders, so he transferred through many different schools. He's had to make new friends and leave new friends almost constantly, despite how many schools he's been to. When he finally ends up in Madison, he's worked so hard to the point that he's now taking mainstream classes where, unfortunately, most people that have autism or any worser breed of autism than my brother don't have that chance. So I greatly appreciate the work he's done to get to this point. Besides all of the academic stuff, we've both done a lot of stuff together. We've both performed at many venues for weddings, for funerals, for church services, etc. And we've also had a lot of fun activities together. We are both a very competitive pair of brothers. I remember waking up at 4 a.m. when we used to live in East Orange to play Wii pickup basketball. I remember we were trying to get the slam dunk that took us way too long to get. I remember all the countless games of bowling that we had, and now he actually pursues it in the Special Olympics. He actually won a title pretty recently. I remember all the Go Fish games that we've had that he mysteriously always seems to win. I'm still a little bit suspicious of that, but all those times have always stuck with me, and I will always remember them. Another thing that my brother happens to do is that he always looks out for us, even when we weren't anticipating it. One story that comes to mind is when we were in the Bahamas for a year. It was a Saturday afternoon, and my parents and I, we were looking at stuff to do to kind of kill time. So my brother, he looks out the window and he says, guys, I think there's a tornado outside. Now, when most people think of the Bahamas, you probably don't think of a tornado first thing. You think of sunny weather, nice beaches, a margarita in one hand and a pineapple in the other. But you don't really think of tornadoes or any Wizard of Oz thing like that. So naturally, we just forget about it and move on. We also think that since Brian likes to script a lot of things where he recalls old memories from the past to help cope with his autism. So we figured it was that. So we continue talking, and then my brother says, guys, there's a tornado outside, or as he calls it, a twister. We ignore it again, because we think it's still ridiculous. And then he says, guys, you should actually really look outside. There's like something bad going on. So finally, just to say, hey, there's nothing outside, I look outside, and this is what I see. There is not one, due to my bad photography, but there's not one, but two, at the same time, roughly heading towards us. So now we know, one, that my brother has magical weather sensing abilities, and then two, it shows that he's always looking out for us. From that instance, I now see that autism is not really much of a disorder, but rather a new perspective that those without it don't happen to see. Now, to conclude my speech, I'd like to bring about our plans for next year. I'll be moving off to college down in Missouri, and my brother will be staying in state to work at a graphics design company. To my brother, I greatly appreciate the time that we spent together. I greatly appreciate all the fun memories, our performances, the many games that you seem to win, even though I think you're cheating. But besides that, I love you. I greatly appreciate the time we've had, and I hope we can spend more time together afterwards. Thank you very much.
Hello,
name is Colin Melvin. Today, I'll be doing my tribute speech on two very special people in my life, my loving, caring, and thoughtful parents, Jim and Allison Melvin. They both grew up in Massachusetts and eventually went on to meet at the University of Massachusetts, where after graduating, they started their own family with my older brother, Jack. After 3 years of living in Massachusetts with all their family around and creating all these different support systems that they had there, they eventually had to give it up for my dad's, for an opportunity for my dad's work, which came with me. I had a great childhood with them from what I can remember, and I'm sure they were just as loving and supportive when I was young. But I didn't really realize how great they were until I got to high school. Seeing their ability to shield me from harm when I was coming into high school was something that I have never seen before. When my older brother would be getting into trouble, his grades were slipping, anything of that sort, their ability to pretend to be happy when sad or be patient when they're about ready to snap is something that I've been able to bring with me over these past 4 years and have really cherished. Being able to believe that everything will be okay is something that I'll keep with me forever. Hardship becomes much easier when you believe everything will be okay, even if you have to pretend a little bit at first. And I know my parents don't get enough recognition, and I know they really deserve it. Not enough printer paper cards or Trader Joe's flowers in the world could show them how much I really love them. And even this speech with everyone here dressed up, all these families here, I still don't think will be enough, but I wouldn't feel right not giving it a shot. While I was crafting this speech, I realized how much I'm going to miss both of them, but they're for very different reasons. I'm going to miss my dad when I get into trouble in the next 4 years, which I'm sure I will, because of how understanding he was. Small problems, big problems, didn't seem to be problems at all when I would come home and tell my dad about it. Or my mom, who I'm sure I'll run into somebody who doesn't understand the jokes that I tell her, or won't combat them with me every single day. But either way, I strive to be like them. Whether it's taking a big risk like my dad, moving his whole family to New Jersey and creating a life that is better than any of us could have imagined, or not giving up on a dream like my mom, who set out to be a teacher when she was just a little girl and has now gone back to teaching this fall at the community house. So thank you, Mom and Dad, for teaching me how to ride a bike, shoot a basketball, swing a baseball bat. I love you guys.
Hi, I'm Shay Oxner, and I'm going to be honoring both of my parents, Peter and Erin Oxner.
Thank you, Shay.
Okay. So, like many of us, I'll be going away to college at the end of the summer, and I'll be saying goodbye to Madison, to my friends, and my parents. This year and transition into college has been unexpectedly busy, as well as exciting, as my parents and I know, and maybe others can agree to. Through it all, my parents have always supported me and encouraged me to follow my dreams. It's been bittersweet, the feelings of starting new and leaving what's comfortable, having to express gratitude in words. A gratefulness I have felt my whole life for my parents. It can't truly be expressed in any text message, call, or speech, but I'm going to try today. My dad taught me the importance of being thankful. He's one of the goofiest people I've met. one of the kindest people who expresses his love and shares it. He cherishes it before it's gone or before it's far away. My dad, he lost both of his parents during the pandemic, as well as his biological father. His love for all of them is evident to me, and I can only hope that mine is too, that my expression of gratitude is discernible. And, I look up to my dad because he looked up to his parents, and because what's passed down through generations is special. As much as I am excited to be independent and out of the house, my life won't be the same without seeing my parents every day. I'll never forget these couple of years that I spent with just my parents, as all my siblings are at college. And although it's weird to say out loud, I did enjoy being the only kid in the house. Thank you for all the opportunities you have given me and for traveling with me to some of the coolest places I've ever been to. My mom has given me a drive and a passion to pursue some of the things I never thought that I could do. She has offered me support and help in times when I didn't deserve it, and I look up to her strength as a mother. She inspires me to do the things she once did and loved, like travel and raise a family. This year has had its ups and downs, while my parents have helped me navigate how to become an adult and to be on my own. It's been a process of learning that's almost impossible to experience the benefits of both being a kid and an adult. My dad helps me realize this, that I have to take responsibility and to show up. Both he and my mom reflect the kind of parents and people that I want to be. One of the last things I want to thank my parents for, and most for, is for staying strong and encouraged me when we had moved in 2019. My dad had changed jobs, and when we had wound up in Madison, about 4 months went by until the pandemic hit. It wasn't easy for us as we were adjusting into the neighborhood, and as I complained every day that this couldn't be the right place for me. My dad told me to push through and to finish strong, to keep positive and spread warmth. And I hope this speech can speak to that. I am grateful for the years we've had to grow together, and I'm grateful to make it to graduation at the end of my high school years. I couldn't have done it without both of you. Thank you so much.
Hi everybody, I'm Joaquin Izzo, and today I stand before you with a heart full of gratitude and pride as I pay tribute to a man who has left a great mark on my life and the lives of others. This tribute is dedicated to my dad, Dan Izzo. From the moment I entered this world, his unconditional support was evident, and he has never left my side. He was one of my first teachers and one of my first friends. His presence fills our home with warmth and laughter, and his wisdom is the foundation upon which me and my siblings built our character. As a provider, my dad works tirelessly to ensure that my siblings and I have the opportunity to do anything we wanted. He works day and night, never complaining, and always puts our needs before others. When faced with adversity, he never wavers and makes a good example for his children. Through his selflessness, he has taught me the value of hard work, determination, and the importance of perseverance. As I've gotten older, I've gotten closer and closer to my dad, and I appreciate our relationship more and more. During the COVID pandemic, I wasn't able to do a lot of things I wanted to do, but one of the best things about the lockdown was the time I got to spend with my dad. Even though it was hard for everyone in the family, he made it so much better for me. But my dad's impact extends beyond our family circle. He's a symbol of strength and a source of inspiration for everyone he encounters. He has taught me the importance of kindness and empathy, and my dad takes time out of his day to support me and the people around me. Whenever something needs to be done, he's always looking to get it done. He has always supported the teams and groups that I've been a part of, whether it's by coaching, taking pictures, or showing his support. Today I reflect on the good qualities because no matter how much he yells at me or tells me something to do something I don't want to do, I know it was out of love. And his love is unwavering. His love and his unwavering belief in me has given me strength to overcome adversity, to pursue what I want to do, and to become the person I am today. He will always be my mentor, even as I start to see him less often. My dad has always put family first, and he deserves a tribute for all the work he puts in to ensure everyone around him is stable and happy. Thank you for being a great dad and for being someone I can talk to. I don't get to say things like this very often, but I'm glad I get to say it now. I appreciate you every day. Love you.
Hi everyone, my name is Dante Izzo. I'm here to talk about my mom, Michelle Izzo, and this speech gave me an opportunity to talk about her, and I don't really show enough gratitude towards you, so this is my opportunity here. I hope this speech does you justice and really shows the effect that you've had on my life and how much you've helped me prepare me for the next chapter. My mom grew up in Puerto Rico and worked extremely hard to go to college in the States at MIT, and that itself already says a lot about her. She's one of the smartest people I know, and she had set a goal to go to a prestigious school for a long time, and she put her mind to it and made it happen with her effort and devotion. Even after she graduated college, she continued this trend. She's now a mother of 4 and still working hard. She sets an example for me and my siblings with her hard work and dedication to our family. And she is a great role model, and that is important and inspiring, but what makes her truly special is how she pushes me to reach my full potential. She cares so much about my future and well-being. She does so much to support me and get the most out of me. I know sometimes I don't give the effort that she deserves from me, yet she still tries and tries all the time to get it out of me. And sometimes her trying her best is getting pretty mad at me, and I know it's for my own good. And where I really felt her care for me the most was during the college admissions process. She really didn't like the way I like to procrastinate and save everything for the last minute. And I actually procrastinated pretty heavily for a lot of my college applications. My mom made sure to tell me all the time to get my stuff in and get my stuff done and keep me on the right track, and I'm thankful for that because her pushing me to do better really helped my college applications overall and assisted me in getting to college, and I don't think I could have done it without her. And even considering some of my other endeavors, like sports, she's always been my #1 fan. Going to all my sports games, making fat heads of me and my brother, and ringing her cowbell so loud in the stands that sometimes I'm worried for the people who are sitting next to her. She always supported me and did what was best for me. This did result in her forming her own controversial sports opinions that my family would know about. Yeah. And this speech reminded me of a little trip we took down to South Carolina, just me, my brother, and my mom. We were looking to see the solar eclipse, the total solar eclipse in 2017. And being in a car with your mom and your brother for a long period of time can really take a toll on a man. And however, I'm thankful for this experience, and it's kind of funny because we're going to be going on a similar road trip because I'm going to college in South Carolina, so we're going to be doing it all over again. And thankfully that I have the support, and she's prepared me for my life in college, I'm ready. So thank you.
Perfect timing.
Hi everyone, I'm Devin Patel, and today I would like to dedicate this speech to my mom. And I want to start out reading a message that I found on a tea bag a few months back, actually. It reads, "A mother's love is the most unconditional and purest form of love." When I heard this, I immediately thought of my mom because she really represents this unconditional and pure love. To give a background to her, she was born in India, but she moved to the U.S. at a very young age. She teaches me to appreciate everything and never take anything for granted. Though she did not have many privileges growing up, she persevered. She graduated Rutgers University, working multiple jobs. And she teaches me every day how to become the best version of myself, how to work hard, and how to achieve my goals. She's now a senior director of digital experience at Henry Schein. My family and I recognize her for her unwavering sympathy, peace, and determination. She's my hero figure, and she has pushed me to find success and the best version of myself. With her constant support, I've achieved more goals. I love and respect my mom, and she makes me feel safe and comfortable every day. Today, I want you all to take away all that she does to make the world a better place. She's donated to multiple charities, including autism, cancer, and poverty. She's always willing to lend a helping hand and a contagious smile, which is something that I really appreciate the most about her. She truly has nothing but kindness and love in her heart, and she adds a true, meaningful value to this world. As a competitive golfer, I've been helped by my mom numerous times. I'll always remember the conversations that we've had in the car when she would drive me long distances to tournaments and events. In one event in particular, I was very nervous, and I was sitting with my mom in the car, and I was talking about how nervous I was about this tournament. And she just listened to me, which was really the most important thing that she could do. And she gave me the opportunity to discuss my feelings with her. She taught me to control what I can control and put things into perspective, which are two life lessons that I carry with me today. In this tournament, she helped me find a lot of success, which wouldn't have been possible without her wisdom and clarity. I often think of my mother as a bright, radiant light due to her contagious positivity and smile. An example of this is she never wanted a dog, but me and Alex, my brother, we begged her to get this dog, and they finally got us a dog. And this dog was very stubborn, clever, but very disobedient. But my mom trained her very well, and she showed how much kindness she has in her heart for this dog, because she never really thought of dogs as anything that she'd like to be around. But she got through the process and trained this dog very well, so much to the point where we got a second dog, Trip, right here. He's a German Short-haired Pointer. And these dogs and my mom have a crazy relationship, a very, very loving relationship that they'll never give up. She's inspired me during COVID. During the pandemic, honestly, like a lot of kids, I just wanted to sit there, play video games, be lazy, you know. But my mom works out a lot, and she inspired me to go on runs, work out. That's something that I've taken with me today, and it's helped me become more comfortable and confident in my body. It's inspiring to see someone as disciplined as her. And my mom has chosen an unconditional love for us, which I'll always appreciate. She's kind and compassionate and nothing but light to my world. So Mom, I appreciate you. I love you. I cherish everything that you do for us. I'm going to miss you a hell of a lot in college. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing well. My name is Devin Molina, and today I would like to express my gratitude for my amazing mother who has had a significant impact on my life. She has been my support system, guiding me through every obstacle I have faced. Even as a young adult, she continues to lend a helping hand, from changing my diapers as a baby to now doing my laundry as a young adult, and her words of encouragement when I need them the most. My mother's support and motivation have instilled a sense of confidence in me that I will carry with me for the rest of my life. She has taught me the importance of perseverance and hard work, which have helped me achieve many of my goals. As a curious child, she's always took time to explain things in a way I would understand, further igniting my passion for learning. What inspires me most about my mother is her ability to overcome challenges. She pursued higher education, going back to school, emphasizing the importance of being a hard worker and to achieve one's dreams. She has been my rock and my biggest cheerleader, providing me with wisdom and perspective during times of uncertainty. Not only is my mother intelligent, but she is also incredibly kind-hearted. She is always available for our family, making everyone feel understood and heard. I remember a time when my car broke down on the side of the highway. I was with a few friends, and my busy mom came to rescue me with a new battery and some tools necessary to get me back on the road safely. My mother's determination and resilience have been an inspiration for me, and I'm grateful for her example every day. I cannot imagine a life without her unwavering support and guidance. She has taught me valuable life lessons I will carry forever. As I reflect on my relationship with my mother, I am reminded of countless sacrifices she has made for me and my family. She has always put her needs before her own, our needs before her own. And I'll say I'm so thankful for her selflessness. Whether it was waking up early to pack school lunches or make them, she knows I like French toast, or staying up late to finish projects, my mother has always been there for us. One thing that I most admire about my mother is her ability to balance work and family life. She has always been a hard worker, but she's never let her career come at the expense of our family time. She has made sure we always have time for each other, whether it was going on family vacations or spending quality time together. I also appreciate my mother's sense of humor and her ability to find joy even in the little things. Even when life gets rough, she always manages to make me smile and laugh. Her positive attitude has been a source of strength for our family during difficult times. My mother means the world to me, and I'm so grateful for her presence in my life. She has been a mentor, a role model, and my best friend. I hope that one day I could be half of the parent she was to me. I love you, Mom.
Hi everyone, my name is Emma Pifley, and today I'm going to be giving my speech on my dad, Jeff Pifley. My dad was born outside of Trenton, New Jersey, and has lived in New Jersey his whole life. My dad has taught me knowledge, strength, compassion, and how to be a better person overall. I love how selfless, caring, strong, and how he'll do anything for our family. My dad makes me feel loved and that I could do anything I could put my mind to. My dad constantly puts our family and friends before himself, which I greatly value. Most of us here have at least one person that they're close to write or to give a speech about, or is a loved one of those doing so. Picking my person was difficult, yet I knew it had to be my dad. My dad is my best friend. My dad makes me feel wanted, loved, and the greatest person I could be. He does anything in his power to make my sister, my mom, and myself have the best life we could. Strength, empathy, and positivity are all things I look for in a role model because that's what I want to have. My dad portrays these without even trying. No one can compare to the strength and qualities my dad has. As a toddler, I remember running into his arms the second he got home from work every day because I missed him so much. We have so many memories of just the two of us. He has gotten me into golf, which I hated when I started, but he pushed me to keep trying because he saw my potential. The last thing I wanted to do was to spend hours on a golf course at 8 years old, and yet it always, even if I don't want to be there, and yet he always makes it fun. My dad has taken my family on so many trips around the world. Our golf and ski trips of just the two of us are my favorite, for example, the Caribbean and Europe. Not only does he look for fun, but he also looks for things to do to enrich my knowledge and myself as a person. For example, exploring different places, meeting new people, and trying new things. Over the winter, my dad and I went on a ski trip to France, Switzerland, and Italy. This trip was something neither of us have ever experienced and something we will remember for the rest of our lives. Both of us are up for adventure, which is something I greatly admire. Not only is he up for an adventure, but also loves to relax, watch movies, talk, and spend time with me. Constantly, he wants to play card games on these trips, which doesn't always sound like fun to me, but once we get started, we always have a blast. My dad has shaped me to the best person I could be. He has provided me with so much knowledge and has influenced me to major in the same thing he majored in, finance. I'm also going to be interning over the summer doing the same exact thing that he does. My dad has the ability to see my strengths and see what I could be successful in doing, which I greatly admire. He is someone who is not only an awesome role model, but someone who I strive to be just like. That's why my dad is the number one dad. I love you, Dad. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Kate Canfield, and it is nice to be here today honoring several important people in our lives. Today, I want to take this opportunity to thank my parents, Tara and Paul Canfield. We all love our parents and guardians in our lives very much, but the love I have for my parents is special. It is personal, yet people who know them share it. Some of you, actually a lot of you in this room, know who they are, so you understand their joy and passion which spread throughout the room, creating laughters and smiles. Their similar yet different personalities complement one another. They are high school sweethearts going on their 22nd anniversary this summer. A few words to describe them both are patient, caring, loving, and hardworking. Their work ethic has had a significant effect on me personally. They both are very successful in their own ways while working totally different professions. My mom's a social worker and my dad works in sales. They work hard for everything they have in life and provide for my brother and I every day, which inspires me to do the same. I'm grateful for a lot of people in my life. However, my parents were the first people that came to mind when choosing who to write this speech on. I'm grateful for not only their love, but the trust they have in me. I can be upfront and trust them and appreciate any advice they give me. I also appreciate the independence they give me while also always being there for me. When choosing who to write this speech on, I felt it should be a role model who inspires me, which exemplifies my parents perfectly. While I love my parents equally, I share different bonds with each. My dad has coached me in several sports, such as basketball and softball, growing up. Softball was my main sport, and my dad shared the passion I had for the game. He taught me everything I knew. At the time, I didn't realize how much time he was taking away from his work life to be there for me, supporting me and my teams. But now that I'm older, I realize and I'm really grateful for it. There were several occasions in which my brother and I would have games on the same day, at the same time, and he would somehow be there for both of us, supporting both of us. Dad, I'm sorry, but you should have just stayed at my game the whole time. We still to this day laugh about several memories we have had on the field, such as when I tripped in the middle of the infield for no apparent reason, and we laugh about it as a family. Having my dad as my coach grew my relationship with him, and I never will forget it. With my mom, we do a lot of daily things together, such as shopping, going on walks, or even just our daily talks. Aside from that, my mom has had a remarkable influence on my desire for helping others. Seeing her positive impact on people every day has inspired me to do the same. She can listen and give people advice like no other. Specifically during COVID, she was being recognized more than ever. She was recognized on social media, and people would drop things at her house, and she should have been recognized way before this because she has a great impact on people. Like my dad, she always puts others before herself. She helped me realize what profession I want to do later in life, which is a career in nursing. While I do separate things with my parents, we do things together all the time. We watch shows, we go out for lunch and dinner, and go on vacations. I'm going to miss it all. A few months back, I didn't anticipate being this upset about leaving for college. By this I mean, I'm going to miss my parents the most. Which is why I'm here today thanking them for making my childhood through teenage years the best. There's nobody I respect more than my parents. To know my parents is to know love, kindness, joy, and passion. I love you, Mom and Dad. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Gwen Islander, and I just wanted to thank everyone for being here. I'm doing this speech on my older brother, Owen. So, Owen's only a couple years older than myself, but he's still taught me so much in life. Not many people have this relationship with their brothers, and I'm extremely grateful for what I have. At such a young age, he's shown me to be tough and hold my ground. When we would fight, it would be settled in the basement, where we wouldn't get in trouble. While Nolan and I would fight, Owen would be the referee. Experience this has made me stronger, but despite the fighting, as you can see here, it doesn't always end well. Owen has a soft side to him. When I need him, he's always there for me, and he always knows what to do. He knows how to handle me. I'm pretty complicated. Sometimes he knows me better than I even know myself. Sorry. Watching Owen through life has taught me because of his mistakes and his willingness to share them. Owen at college is sad, but I know he's on to bigger and better things. We always try our best to keep in touch, and having Owen as a role model has shown me what I need to do for my little brother Nolan, guide and help him through his problems. Owen has taught me to be kind, always stay positive, and always be there for others. Trust in our relationship has made it even stronger. I trust Owen, and he trusts me. That is one of the many reasons Owen is the best older brother that I could ask for. Owen treats others with kindness and respect. And seeing that holds my expectations high and has shown me to never settle for less. Growing up, I didn't think I would respect Owen as much, but now that I'm grown and matured, I understand. I understand that without Owen, a lot of things would be different. No one could ever replace you. People may not know how close Owen and I are, but you should just see us on the basketball court. Our connection and no-look passes show the bond we have. Without Owen, I don't know what person I'd be today. Who would tell me I have a pimple or something in my teeth? There's so much love Owen has to give in this world, and I can't wait to watch it spread. I am honored to say, as his little sister, that I am proud of him, proud of the person he has become. And proud of the person who has helped his little sister grow. I can't wait to learn more from you, Owen. I love you, and I can't wait to go to the Yankee game tomorrow.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Thanks for coming today. Today I'm going to be talking about my mom, someone who was very important to me. To start, let me tell you about her background. She was born and raised in Bulgaria, and it helped shape her into the person that she is today. As she grew older, she decided to become a journalist in her home country, but that was just a start for her. My mom had the desire to move to New York and start a fresh life in the United States. In her 20s and starting anew, my mom had a nurturing spirit and a deep love for children. She realized this passion and decided to open up a daycare. It was her first business, and with a little help from my dad, she made it happen. With her unwavering commitment towards children, she poured her heart and soul into creating a safe and loving environment where young minds flourished, ensuring that they get the care and attention they need. Growing up, my mom was very protective of me. I'll admit, when I was younger, she was a little strict with me, but that doesn't change the fact that she was always a good mother. As a child, I didn't really understand the sacrifices that my mom made for our family. Even through hard times, she always stood positive and accomplished difficult tasks so that everyone in my family could have a good future. In 7th grade, we moved to Madison, and it was difficult for the both of us. We were both from the city, so it was really different, and I didn't really know anyone. She helped me navigate the ups and downs and helped me push through the challenges of moving to a new state. Looking back at her dedication, she used to constantly remind me that dreams are worth pursuing, even if they require some sacrifice. Beyond her role as a mother, my mom always gives back to those in need and exemplifies true unselfishness. She has never hesitated to help those in need, whether it's volunteering at a homeless shelter or just offering simple advice. I'm not only here to pay tribute, but also to express my sincere gratitude. She's taught me the true significance of unconditional love, self-sacrifice, and persistence. Today I celebrate my mother's extraordinary achievements as well as the impact she's had on those around her. May her story inspire everyone to live life with open hearts, unwavering dedication, and the courage to pursue our dreams. Thank you.
So, hello everyone. For those who don't know me, my name is Kyle, and this is gonna be my tribute speech. So, when thinking of this speech, I really thought of this quote where friendships come and go, but families are forever. And I feel like, especially in my life, this is especially true. And I feel like this applies no further than to Rosalie Gordon, my very own mother. Just to give you some background, my mom grew up in Jamaica and went to a small school on the coast. She was with her mom and her sister, and she didn't really grow up with much, but with hard work and dedication, she was able to go to St. John's University in New York. And even then, she had to work a full-time job just to pay tuition, and she was able to graduate in 1988. And after that, she worked for Bank of America and Barclays, which, as you all know, are two very big companies here in the States. And in all the times I've known her, I've recognized three main principles that really define her, and those are her work ethic, her honesty, and her outspokenness. Her work ethic, as I mentioned earlier, she didn't grow up with much in Jamaica, but she worked hard, got good grades, and was able to go to St. John's. Even then, had to work a full-time job in college just to get through with the tuition. And even after then, she still had to go on like a lot of business trips and go to work almost every day just to make sure that me and her had a roof over our heads and food on the table. And a lot of times when she would go on business trips when I was younger, I would like cry and be really embarrassed, really sad when she left, and I give her a big hug when she came back. Second is her honesty. She really values honesty out of everyone that she knows, especially me, especially when it comes to like working on issues between us. Whenever we have those issues, she really values getting honesty out of me so that we can have a heartfelt discussion, even if it involves calling me out on my BS sometimes. And the third principle is her outspokenness. So for the longest time, I've really struggled with talking about my emotions and how I feel. And she's really encouraged me to speak up and say how I'm feeling, which I feel is going to be very important as I go into the adult life. she's not going to be there all the time, and being able to communicate about these sort of things is very important. So I'm really glad that I was able to learn that from her. And here's just a nice little photo montage, and I especially feel like as I'm now coming to the end of the senior year, and I'm sure this is an exciting time for you to see me graduate, but at the same time really dreadful because I'm going to be off in college, and we're not going to see each other all the time. But for all the ups and downs, for all the good times and the bad, I will always love you to the moon and back. Thank you.
My name is Will Clifford. I am going to be talking about my mom and dad, and thank you for being here. There are many great people in my life, and without a doubt, the two most amazing people have to be my mom and dad. Growing up, my parents have been very supportive and great role models. My mom is a lady whom everyone loves, and my father is someone whom everyone admires. My parents have taught me everything I know and the reason why I'm here today. This speech is very important to me because I've never been able to formally recognize everything that my parents have done for me. When I think of my parents, many memories come to mind, and one of those memories is one of recurrence. Every single game, you'll find a man in the bleachers who some may say is overdressed. That man is my dad. And no matter how much work or the time of the game, my dad made sure he was there. Next to him at every game was my mom. My mom is a familiar face amongst the team as she always devoted time to giving back to us and was responsible for helping every team dinner, even if it meant coming after work. When I think of my mom and giving back, many memories come to mind. One of the memories that's very prominent in my life is around 10 years ago when my mom brought my sister and I to Covenant House in Newark, New Jersey. She told us that we would be helping kids who weren't as lucky as myself. I'm very happy I was exposed to this very early on in my life, and it shows how great of a person my mom was and how she wanted us to be just like her. My dad has worked my entire life, and I look up to his intelligence and grit. My mom is a stay-at-home mom, which itself is very much a job as well. She was responsible for driving me, feeding me, washing me, of course, and many more. Even with everything on their plates, they never failed to be there for me. As I got older, I dealt with many hardships with my family, principally the loss of my grandfather. During the pandemic, my grandfather had gotten very sick. Without their words of encouragement and uplifting attitudes, grieving would be 10 times harder. When I think of the loss, I think of how I was not able to go into the hospital to say goodbye because I was only 16 years old. That's when my mom grabbed my older cousin's name tag and put it on me and walked me into the hospital. She then brought me up to the hospice unit where I was able to say my final goodbyes. Without my mom's courage, I would not have been able to be involved in such an important time in my life. I will always remember that, and thank you, Mom. At the beginning of the speech, I mentioned how it is very important to me to formally recognize everything my mom and dad have done for me. With that being said, Mom and Dad, I love you both endlessly.
Okay, so hi everyone, parents and any other honorees. Thank you for joining our public speaking class for our final exam and what we'd like to call our last dance out of homework. If you don't know who I am, I'm actually the professional camera team, but my name is also Marina Gobi, and I am both a victim and survivor of targeted dad jokes. The suspect, Ricardo Gobi. A 6'2", Asian, Caucasian, and Latino male who is 46 years old and has exactly 6 distinct white hairs on his head. Funny enough, he was last seen not here. That's right. He's in Alabama for the week because of work, so everybody turn to the camera over there. Say hi to my dad. Hey, Dad. So throughout my 18 years of existence, I've never seen my dad bored. He's always out playing sports, butchering people's sense of humor, fishing, or fixing some part of the house that didn't really need fixing in the first place. But he was always out. He was always busy. and he taught me the importance of exposing myself to as many experiences as possible. But most importantly, he taught me how to chase my goals in order to get there in the first place. As soon as I was born, I became part of the sailing crew. That's me, I'm the baby. At 10, I was winning races by his side. By the age of 3, we were living in Germany, and taking advantage of all the snow, I was taught my pizza and French fries. Us then versus us now. When we moved here, I had many of my firsts. For example, first time being forced to hold a slimy fish. First time cooking for the entire family. First time driving. And in almost all my crazy stories, my dad had been there with me. Last summer, for example, I went scuba diving for the first time. We showed up for a brief of the day, and this was how I felt when I heard that the conditions were bad. I begged my dad to let me to drop out. He convinced me to show up, and this was how I felt after. Here's a comparison. Here's another example. Long story short, Dad, you showed me what the world has to offer. You taught me that there's always more to do and more to see. You taught me chess, stock day trading, and everything in between. And to this day, I'm amazed by how much you've done and how far you've gotten. You used to steal the janitor's keys to open the gym and play basketball during class in high school. You then ended up earning a PhD from one of the best universities in South America. You played basketball at the university, number 5 in the jersey and number 5 in my heart. You played rugby, you played volleyball, soccer, handball, and you were the president of athletics. You also got your MBA and founded your own company at some point. I get lost in the timeline sometimes. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't have followed through with most of the opportunities I've had throughout my life. I realize today that those experiences shaped my perspective and my understanding of the world, but ultimately also who I am as a person. My dad showed me the value of prioritizing my life, and he motivated me to have as many experiences as I can. Thank you for lending me your clothes all these years. Thank you for teaching me the definition of having fun and how to confront my fears. Thank you for showing me your world and for being my personal math tutor, my personal ATM at times, my personal alarm clock, and most of all, thank you for being my rock and one of my biggest fans. I hope your jokes always land, and I hope to continue having your endless support after graduating Madison. Cheers to you and to all the dads who have played a vital role in our success. May we all remember to give them a number 1 dad mug when we get home. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'll be doing my presentation on my lovely mother, Allison Salazar, or as a lot of people call her, Alicia. So, Dad, don't get mad at me. You're both amazing. And when Mr. Oswin told us we had to choose someone for the speech, I immediately thought of both of you. But I don't know which one to choose, so I left it off to a coin flip. Looks like Mom won. Now, I would be here for hours if I had to say everything about my mom. But first, let me introduce her. She grew up in Costa Rica and born in the province of Liberia, and she was one of 7. She was the second youngest and her father's favorite. And she had a comfortable childhood in Costa Rica, but it was still a third world country. She came to the U.S. after getting her degree in business in a university in Costa Rica. So she came here to work in the city, and eventually she met my dad after a car blew up after a soccer game. My dad was there to save the day. But she met my dad, got married, had my older sister, and then had me. My mother has always been there for me, but that doesn't mean she had an easy life, because she had to face challenges herself just so I could succeed. During her life, she's had many different health risks. She's had numerous surgeries and operations, with one recently just being done. I'm so proud of her as she has overcome the challenge that not many people face. She's beaten breast cancer, and I'm proud to say that, and I've always supported her through that. That was a tough time through her life and mine, as she was someone I loved, and I had a chance of losing her. Beyond this, she was able to succeed in her work and family life. She was always there for my sister and I when we needed her the most. One aspect where she was always there for me was soccer. Soccer was a big part of my life, and she knew that when I was growing up. Whether it was watching games on the weekend and driving me where I needed to be. Now, as soccer was a big part of my life, she played a big part in my recruitment process, as it's always been a dream of mine to play in college, no matter the level. Now, college recruitment's not easy. It is endless emails, drives, visits, phone calls, all sorts of that. But my mom was there for me because it was so stressful that at some points I just wanted to quit. Sometimes I didn't even want to go to college. I just didn't want to do anything. But my mom talked to me, sat me down, and said, "Matt, you can do this. Let me help you." She became my personal assistant, organizing emails, phone calls, and anyone who was interested in me. But still, it wasn't easy. Towards the end, when I started my senior year, the college interest was a little low, and I was a little down by that. But my mom told me, always have hope. So I stayed with that hope all throughout the year and winter. And eventually in the spring, it was starting to get close to make a decision. And I was scared because I only had a few options, and there were not any I liked. Eventually, my mom said, "Let's try one more time." So we sent out another email to basically every single coach on the East Coast. And eventually, I got a few options back. Some I liked, some I didn't. And I got this interesting offer from Millersville. They said, "Come down, let's see what you have." That was the scariest 2-hour drive I've had. I've had to play in front of people who are 22, 23, or 24 years old. When we got there, I was scared. I was nervous. I didn't know what to do. But my mom, who did the drive with me, she told me, "Matt, all I can ask is you do your best. If you do your best, there's nothing more I can ask. And whether they like you or not, just know you tried." So I went out, I played, I did my best, left everything on the field. And at the end of the day, when I went home, I got a phone call. They said, "We liked what we saw, we want you." And I immediately hugged my mom. She was the first person I told right after I found that phone call, as she was the one who deserved to know the most. As well as the soccer recruitment process, she's always been there through my youth career as well. Going to weekend games, tournaments, driving down to Virginia, North Carolina, or flying all the way to Florida. It's not easy, as it's not just the commitment of parenting me and watching me on these trips, it's also financial. It's not cheap to travel across the country a few times a month. So I'm just so grateful that she's done that for me. She's also been my little travel buddy, as you can see in these pictures I've been going through. My mom has opened my mind to the world. She loves to travel. Whether it's been South America or Europe, she's always expanded my horizons. In the past few years, we've gotten the chance to go to Europe a few times and visit countries such as Switzerland, Italy, France, or Spain, all of which I visited with her and took countless pictures and memories. This time with my mom made me realize how special she is, as she's always been there for me and made these memories. This horse picture, I think, sums it up of how she is. As she grew up a little rural, not that much, but it was Costa Rica. So riding these horses on the beach with the clear water in the background, I think is a perfect description of how she is. A little bit of spontaneous, but organized, as she knows what she's doing. And the picture on the right of us in the Swiss Alps was one of my favorite trips, but also one of my favorite memories with her, as it was just me and her on that trip, going through the mountains. She taught me a lot. She taught me how to persevere and overcome. And I'm grateful for that. So Mom, I love you and thank you for everything you've done.
Hi everyone, I'm Robert Ferris, and today I'm going to be delivering my tribute speech to my parents, Matt and Renee Ferris. First, I'm going to give a little background to my parents. My mom was born in Yonkers, New York, and then ended up moving to Highland Falls, New York, a little town right outside of West Point. And my dad was born in Greenwich, Connecticut, and lived there for a little while and moved to Toms River when he was around 10 years old and moved around there until he graduated college. Now, I'm going to be giving my speech to my parents because I don't think I've done an adequate job over the years of explaining to them how much I appreciate them, and I think this is the perfect opportunity to do that. To start with my mom, there was many late nights with her when I was younger. She would be working from the moment I got up to tucking me into bed and then going back to her computer and working for more hours late into the night. She would work tirelessly every day and then wake up the next morning and do it all again just to ensure I had the best chances to she would work from when I got up until I went to bed to ensure I had the best opportunities in life. My dad has always been there for me, willing to do anything to help me in the classroom or on any athletic field, and usually I have to deny his assistance more than accept it. They've always been there to support me and encourage me, and through many tough times, they've always found time to help me out and put up with all my BS. A few summers ago, my dad's mom, who I call Grammy, was severely ill, and every day my dad would go and visit her in Toms River, come back for work, and managed to come to all of my summer baseball games that summer. Through all this tough time, he still did anything and everything for the family, and during that time, my mom was there for him and there for me more than any other time to make up for my absent dad who was working and visiting his mom. Thank you for this time to show my appreciation for both my parents and all they do for me. Love you, Mom and Dad. Thank you.
One sec. I know, another speech, right? Have you ever had a role model or someone to aspire to? Well, my role model lives under the same roof as me. My father has always motivated me to be my best self and has made me the man standing here today. My father is without a doubt a role model in my life. His hard work ethic is demonstrated through his day-to-day actions, such as waking up at 6 a.m. and dealing with difficult plaintiffs in his courtroom all day, and then coming home, grinding out yard work and other chores. My dad practiced law as a trial attorney for 20 years and was a managing partner at a firm of O'Donnell, McCord, and DeMarzo in Morristown. Following this, he became a municipal prosecutor for the towns of Madison, Washington Township, and Califon. In recent years, my dad has become a Superior Court judge at the Vicinage 10 Superior Court in Morristown, serving both Morris and Sussex counties. But through all this hard work and profession, there is always time for his love and caringness. This includes checking in on anyone and making sure they are their best selves. My father always has made me feel motivated and the best self that I can be. When I say this, I do not mean like some tiger parent who will never accept failure, but he calms me with loving and endless support. Without the influence of my father, I would have no direction in life and would probably not be in school or reach certain achievements in my life. One of these biggest achievements being my commitment to play college lacrosse. I could not have done this without my father and his endless support at lacrosse tournaments over the years. Some of my favorite memories are at these tournaments with my father, on these long, endless car rides. They were always enjoyable, though. I remember one particular tournament is memorable from the others because I did not play so great on the first day of the tournament, but later that day, me and my father took a fishing trip, and during this trip, I reminisced and talked about my father with the games that day and how I could have improved. The next day, I went out and played the best game of lacrosse of my life. My team took home the championship trophy, and I've never been happier. Oh, I'm doing terrible with these pictures, but I know my father might just look like another typical parent to you guys, but he is no ordinary father. My dad has always had his way of keeping not only me, but my whole family happy at all times, doing tasks ranging from big to small. One of these favorite tasks being my dad's Christmas lights. These lights, they light up the neighborhood. He puts these up, he goes out on a ladder with a pole, and he puts these up all the way to the top of that tree. That tree is tall. My father has always made me feel loved and supported. I know I will always have him behind me. I believe one who deserves honor should have affected others, and my father has definitely done that. My father goes out of his way to make sure everyone around him are their best selves and they can be. He does all the things that make everyone around him just a little bit more at ease. My father has changed the lives of many, even if he has not realized, in his courtroom, in our household, and affecting just his peers around him. Not many people have sacrificed their time and energy to make someone happy and a better version of themselves like my father. His grind can be as small as making me my daily water to as large as working long hours in his chambers. Many do not know, but my father is actually a very funny guy. Here he is, Jets tailgate. Some Texas hooligans, you know. I truly respect my father, though, due to his hard work ethic and his ability to be restless. And my father handles difficult situations like butter. I've never seen this man sweat, though he brings me joy and happiness into others' lives, not only my own. My father's selflessness and kindness make him a clear candidate to be my honoree. Dad, I want to thank you for all you've done for me over the years. I know you probably don't think I've ever noticed, but I just would like to thank you personally. I've never had a brother in my life, just two 30-year-old sisters, but you're my brother. I appreciate you. I hope everyone here is a little bit more informed on Jim DeMarzo and his strong work ethic. Thank you, everyone.
Hello, and thank you all for coming today. Today I'm honored to make a special tribute to a person in which I think is a caring, hardworking, and all-around in general good person. My dad continued and continues to have a tremendous impact on my life, but not only mine, but also his friends and family. Looking back on it, he has been there for every milestone, major or minor. However, the thing that makes my dad truly special is his willingness to help others with asking for nothing in return. I've come to realize that sometimes I take advantage of this, and you have given me so much, and I should be more grateful. You have provided me with so many memories, and I'm so thankful. Some of my most memorable times I've had with you are the times we spend fishing. Fishing has always been our hobby, and even though catching fish is fun, it's not about what we catch. It's about the conversations and how we bond. That's what means most to me. Not only have I gotten to know you better over the years through this, but you've given me the best guidance and the best advice I could ask for. Even though I roll my eyes and shake my head when you lecture me, I really do listen to what you're saying and take it to heart. Throughout my life, I've learned so many things from you, and it's shaped me into the person that I am today. You have been a constant source of love, inspiration, guidance, support, and nothing will change that. I may not show it, but I'm super grateful for everything that you have done for us. Thanks to you, I will be attending college next year and will be moving on in life, and you can expect that I will need a lot more guidance and help from you. I want to take a quick moment now and thank you for all the things you have done for me. And I know that this is just a small speech, but I'm truly grateful for you, and I love you. Thanks.
Life doesn't come with a manual, it comes with a mother. So, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Bethany Bradshaw, and today I will be talking about my mum, Tracy. She gave me life. Yes, she literally gave me life, but she's also helped me become who I am. She's helped me figure out who I want to be. She's helped me try everything from archery to horseback riding to even interning at a bakery. She's one of the biggest factors in this equation that is my life. She's helped me whenever I've wanted to try a new activity and helped me push through to the end of a goal I didn't know I needed to complete. She's tried her best to get me out of the house and has even helped me start a rock painting group called Madison NJ Rocks, which has even helped me earn a scholarship I received earlier this month. This speech is to honor her and acknowledge what she has put up with, as I can tell you right now, the journey has not been easy. It was a struggle for all my family when we moved to the US in 2014, as communication ended up being something new. We discovered that there was a difference between the English and American language, including some words that you can find in the workplace. My mum told me a story about a conversation that she had had with her and her coworker at a new job, and a standard question is asking about the rota. Now, there was a bit back and forth conversation between my mum and her coworker until her coworker finally realized my mum was talking about the work schedule. It takes time to get people to understand, and she has become one of the most patient people I know. So, continuing with the struggle, last year, I discovered I don't know how to cook a potato. Now, I know this is a very unusual turn. However, I think it is important to say, as it is a very valuable lesson I have learned. So, last year, at one point, I decided to make a jacket potato for my dinner. For those of you who don't know what a jacket potato is, that's a jacket potato. So a jacket potato is a cooked potato that you cut down the middle, and you can put anything in it: tuna, cheese, baked beans. I tend to go with cheese and baked beans. And so I had done the necessary preparations, washed the potato, put it in the microwave, and I put it in for 3 minutes and waited. My mum was in the kitchen at this time doing something else. And so once the microwave beeped, I took it out. My mum commented that it had been in there for a very short amount of time. So I told her I had only put it in for 3 minutes, and she told me, you were meant to put it in for 8. So that's a 5-minute difference, and those 5 minutes are apparently very valuable because I have been eating almost completely raw potatoes, which in turn can make you very sick. So this event is one of the many educational experiences that my mum has given me, and I find it very valuable. Whether it be me, my brother, or my dad, my mum has tried her best to help anyone she comes across through her job or through any volunteer work she has done. She's helped me gain hundreds of service hours, as well as help many children through her teaching and volunteering through multiple networks. She works hard to improve the lives of those around her, and I can definitely say that she has improved mine. So I would like to ask my mum to join me up here. Yeah, this is the help that I asked you for earlier. Can I take this down? Can I move this? Wonderful. Oh, shoot, not that. That's loose. Yeah, you're not singing, don't worry. Okay. So, I love you very much, and I am very grateful for everything you've done. And so the last thing I want to say is, I love you lots.
Like jelly tots.
I'll see you later.
Alligator.
In a while.
Crocodile.
Thank you.
Could we please have one more round of applause for all of our presenters? I'm enormously proud of your young men and women, and I am so happy that you could join us today to witness their work and their appreciation for you. Thank you for all you do. Good luck going into graduation season, and have a wonderful afternoon.